And has been absolutely a joy to behold. Sergio Busquets, another that has been imperious. So Barcelona hitting all the right high notes. No Nelson Semedo here today, unfortunately, for a lot of Barcelona fans, because there's another one that's been super impressive. Sergio Roberto called back into the back line, Phil. Like seeing him play in the midfield a lot better, but it's Ernesto Valverde's chance to rest and rotate a little bit, but not too much, because against this El Hata team, this team poses a threat. Make no mistake about it. I saw them in the first two games at Athletic Club, and they fought a great 0-0 tie, and at home against Sevilla, Phil, Sevilla had to pull out all the stops to beat them. So this team here comes with fangs.
Good look at the starting lineup with Jene and Cala in the middle. Midfield of Alambani and Vergara. And in my mind, it's this next group that will be the key.
Yep.
Fajer, Njai, and Gaku. How do they bother Busquets and Iniesta? And up front, he scored against Barca. He's beaten Barca. The former Betis man, Jorge Molina, getting the call. A happy day in southern Madrid.
Happy day for all of us as well. All of the people in Texas and in Florida staying with their friends and neighbours, perhaps watching our games. Our prayers and best wishes go to all the people who lived through those terrible storms that we were witness to, Phil. But as you say, happy days, and the sun's come out of the clouds, and especially so for this team, Barcelona, who, as I said in the preview, in the Super Cup against Real Madrid, it looked like their house was in a little bit of turmoil. Ernesto Valverde's settled the waves, and they are playing wonderfully.
Some thought that they might do a heavy rotation here today, but based upon what's available, almost the strongest lineup Ernesto Valverde can throw out there. As you mentioned, Semedo getting the break. Sergio Roberto drops to the back line, but Luis Suarez is out there. Messi is out there, and it will be the first La Liga start for Ousmane Dembele, who has shown promise, but will he be able to cash in his chips today for Barcelona? We are underway. The Blues of Khetafe, and the third kit, a dark maroon with an orange stripe for Barcelona. Looks, well, in a Roman sense, rather natty.
Yeah.
Roberto.
This side up against them in this lovely blue strip. I was going to give them a little bit of a test. The big test, of course, will come out a little bit later, around October 14th, when they face against Atletico Madrid, excuse me. But here today, they've got to take care of business, and they'll go about it in their wonderful botanical ways. Another player that's been in prime form, Phil, in Samuel Umtiti. It's just a side that's really clicking on all cylinders and taking advantage of the fact that Real Madrid's been a little bit off of their high notes of late, with all of the injuries and suspensions to the Dark Invader, of course, their inspiration. Dembele getting caught there.
Ball stripped away by Amath Ndiaye, 21-year-old ex-Atletico man who have a pretty big day themselves, opening their new stadium. Into the middle, Molina, quick shot, but good hands, Ter Stegen.
There's a good opportunity for Dembele to take a serious lesson from the Barcelona way. He tries to turn on the coffee house tricks a little bit and pulling it back in tight confines on his halfway line. Instead of keeping possession, he got robbed. He did get pickpocketed, but that's what can cost Barcelona, because they push so high and their back line nearly got caught out there. So a little bit slack from Dembele. That's a wonderful attempt by Messi.
Into the 18 by number 18, Jordi Alba, who has been rediscovered and says he has rediscovered his joy of the game after the arrival of Ernesto Valverde.
Wonderful win upstairs there by Gerard Piqué. Here's a player, though, Luzinista, the pale-faced assassin, as I used to call him, a lot more regularly than I have been doing lately, but he has returned to prime form, and yet, Phil, still hasn't signed a contract. What's with these contracts with Barcelona?
Luis Enrique said he was trying to save him for the big games. Iniesta, now 33 years of age, no spring chicken. He's been with Barca since 1996, but Ernesto Valverde not really talking about the contract. He said that's personal. He's not going to tell Iniesta what to do with his life.
Good handling.
But he is saying, you know what, if you're here, we're playing you.
Yeah. And by and large, sticking with the same team, there's no chop and change in this lineup. As you say, trusting the veteran Iniesta, playing a full 90 minutes more often than not. Even against Juve, he was taken off. And just to hear the round of applause from Camp Nou, and he certainly heard it on a deafening scale. He was absolutely, well, Iniesta.
Blasted down, Piqué sliding over, and Jai coming all the way to the right side, but the big man in the back dribbles his way out of danger. Smart play by Alba. They'll settle for the goal kick.
Inspirational defending there by Piqué. Good look at Bordalas. Had an interesting career, Phil, this man. And had wonderful success during his time in the lower divisions.
Well, most recently with Alaves, got them promoted.
Right.
And, his reward, getting sacked.
That's football for you.
And then again goes to Khetafe, gets them promoted. And they wisely said, you know what, let's see what you can do in the top flight. 1-1-1. They drew against Athletic first time out at the San Mamés. Not easy to do. And then, as you were pointing out in the pregame, Ray, a difficult loss to swallow against Sevilla, where they put on a good display.
Really did. They were super solid and came out and showed real threat up front. So this was talking about Bordalas, their coach, Phil, after having 11 clubs and having such good success, coming in with two teams and really very, very modest players and gaining promotion twice. I mean, it's a tremendous management job. So for the man who started it, Hercules, many, many years ago, the 53-year-old Jose Bordalas doing a wonderful job with Khetafe.
Sergio Roberto putting it high in the air. Piqué tries to get it across midfield, but can't.
Switch here.
The former Sociedad man Bergara intercepts. Marco sending it wide. And Suarez tries to retreat. Another chance here for Faja. Some recognizable names in the attack for Khetafe. And now it's Bordalas's job to try and weave them together into a top flight team. Back to Guaita.
Had a tough start. When you look at the competition that they have played in the early going, it's not been an easy start for Khetafe. Oh, what a ball from Busquets again, man. Pings it in on a full volley and leads to this.
Messi in for Suarez. Back is Janae to try and deny, and he does well.
Yeah. Wonderful defending on Suarez.
The Togolese defender playing inside today with Kala.
Yep, great situation there for Dakonam. And that's when Suarez is at his best, backing into the player, using his strength and his wonderful gale to just wait for that little opportunity for the window to open. But Dakonam wouldn't allow it. Well played.
Right, some competition of his own. The Arsenal project. Damian Martinez on the bench today. Very promising Argentine.
What a ball again, Busquets.
Iniesta tries to dribble through Janae again.
Such a knifing pass. He's got options, the easy options, but he looks for the hard ball and knifes it right between those two lanes into Messi, and then the follow-on from Iniesta.
In addition to the blood red shirt, the platinum blonde hair of Rakitic making him easy to spot today here on this near sideline. Good look at Dembele, first league start for the 20-year-old. Interesting comments from Ernesto Valverde this week, saying that he thinks Dembele is match fit. He's ready to play, but the thing is they've got to let him realize it's not Dortmund anymore. He's got to pick up the Barcelona way.
Yeah, different style of football entirely. And he'll learn the chemistry with the working week as its practice sessions are folded into him. Realize you don't need to really exploit the one-on-one situations as much as probably had to do at Dortmund. He's got such wonderful players around him, and the first release ball often leads to even more danger like this.
Rakitic finds a pocket, a little backspin on that. Dembele stops it at the goal line and cuts back.
Unlucky.
Takes up the turf, and then the turf takes him down.
Yeah, he's unlucky here. He loses his feet eventually, but the wonderful turn initially sends the defender the wrong way right here and leaves Kala with his knees on backwards, and there, unfortunately for Ousmane, he loses his cleats in the turf.
In case you used to watch Khetafe, a little bit different look here. As the long blast, a slight deflection. Fajr's blast grabbed in by Ter Stegen. About $2 million put into a facelift for this stadium, named after the Khetafe-born former Real and Barca player Alfonso Perez. New turf put down. Looks, well, other than that divot that Dembele took out, almost immaculate.
Yep. It's a beautiful day for La Liga Santander. Quality style football. Most of the Spanish teams turning it on again in the European competitions. None more so than this team in Roma Red. They were absolutely outstanding against Juve. They just were, well, it was vendetta on the menu that day, Phil.
Gene again coming back, flipped out wide on the far flank, and now pushed in for the charging Molina. Piqué over to defend.
Oh,
Molina goes through the wickets, broke down at the edge of the area. It will be a foul, it won't be a penalty, and it will be a card.
And he knows it all along. He does the captain's thing. He pulls it out and takes down. He gets taken to the cleaners here. It's brilliant, and he actually realizes that Molina's left him for dead and left him with twisted blood here, and pulls out the old wrestling trick. And cannot run without your legs, but can it get more obvious than that?
You see Umtiti charging in to cut out the angle, but a golden opportunity for Khetafe. And Barca quite content to give up a free kick at the edge of the area.
Wonderful skill from the 35-year-old George Molina. A wonderful hold-up play initially, but then he gambles on the quick turn and he catches Piqué.
As you see, just a hair under 25 yards from goal.
Options, yeah, it's a difficult one to make up. They'll have been rehearsing these ones. The pullbacks on.
Roger with the backheel touch to the top of the box, driven low by Arambadi, the young Uruguayan, and the rebound blasted high.
As I said, these are the ones they practice till the moon goes to bed at night on the practice field, and it was well rehearsed. A lovely disguise initially, and then the pullback, as I had warned, was very, very inviting. As I said in the preview, Phil, Azulenes, as Khetafe is called,
the big blue.
They've got the fangs in them, so Barca better keep the back door locked.
And as you might also check out the seats that might be open in those front rows, a little bit of a darker blue for Khetafe, maybe more distinguished as they plan on sticking around. Their only win so far this season coming in the last, and that was the Southern Madrid derby against Leganés on the road against the Cucumber Growers, and a couple of long-range goals to grab the points. The hero of that match, Alvaro Jimenez, rewarded with a seat on the bench, but that means he will be available in the second half. Stripped away from Suarez. That's Damian, the right back.
Ooh, ball rubbed right in front of Piqué. He read it well.
Challenging for it, Molina again, but it falls for Iniesta, who ghosts through the midfield, and Messi, a rare touch.
Oh,
and
what a
threaded
ball!
Perfectly Alba, but the run just a little too far.
Again, ingenious by Lionel as he holds up the ball deep. There's nothing on for him. He's got 11 players to see through, and he sees, well, you'd see through steel. wonderful from Messi, and a big thumbs up from the Geordie. What a pass.
You know, Messi 5 goals in league, 8 of Barcelona's 13 all season long. And for all of the talk about the transformation into the Barca playmaker, yet to register an assist. Suarez checking back.
Again, they're calling him man on man here, and he is right on top of him. He's been getting that all game long. Strong defending from Bordalas' men.
Damian Suarez ruled to have fouled. Opening quarter hour, both teams trying to give as good as they get.
Antunes is obviously being given the dictate for marking the 20-year-old Dembele, even if he goes to the bathroom. He's really marking him.
Iniesta held up. Last year seemed like Andres Iniesta wrapped in cotton wool, occasionally pulled out like fine china. This year Valverde said,
"Oh, well played.
You're going to be the everyday variety."
There's the early ball. Nicely.
Iniesta kissed off for Dembele, but bodied off by Kama.
This was wonderful football from Dembele. As the ball's pinged into him from Piqué, Piqué says, "There's the keys, lad. Drive this one home," and he takes it on, and then the interchange between Iniesta and Messi leads to this, but it could have led to so much more.
Nice pull back, Suarez, but too many bodies in the way.
A wonderful alacrity about Dembele, Phil. When we see it again, the first yard or two, the ball under control, but he leaves his defenders looking like they're looking for the invisible man. He's so quick. And right there we saw better indications of making his mind up a little earlier to release the ball to his supporting players. As you rightfully, beautifully pointed out, Phil, this isn't Dortmund anymore.
Strong step up in the midfield by Busquets.
Tight here for him.
Again, more of a defensive role on that left side under Valverde. Rakitic kind of covering the right. Although now both of them pinched over. And I thought they tried to take advantage.
Overlap.
Off to the inside. Nice from Gaku, but gets away from Molina.
It was good pressing by the defender, Umtiti. Beautiful press there, forcing Khetafe to pull the trigger on his pass a little bit earlier. Well read again.
Gives it away, but taken right back.
Nice pass.
Amat lifts,
and
looks
again
on the overlap. Gaku into the middle, deflected, and it trickles just wide and can't be poked home.
Very unfortunate here. Khetafe, wonderful lead up. This one is intercepted beautifully by Antunes, and they are off to the races. The first overlap is seen and is rewarded. The pullback takes the deflection off Piqué and nearly finds its way past Ter Stegen. Good football that is rightfully applauded.
Molina had a poke at it when it got past the Barcelona netminder, but the angle was off.
Take a look at this. This is a good overlapping run from Gaku. Wonderful from the Japanese international, and a dangerous ball sent across. Again, and fangs, Phil, they're showing.
Could have been ruled offside if it had gone in, but still dangerous from the former Kashma Antlers man. And as you saw, 4 shots for Khetafe, none for Barca yet.
Unlucky, overhit, unquestionably. Good run by Dembele, recognizing that even when the supposed pivot defensive midfield player Busquets gets that ball like that, you make the run, you could get rewarded. Dembele taken off nicely.
A little over a month ago, after losing the Supercopa to Real Madrid, everyone was talking about the woes. Neymar had left, Coutinho would not arrive. It took Dembele a while. Since then, they are perfect. In fact, have not allowed a goal, which gives you an idea how impressive Khetafe has been to start this match.
Yeah. Well, I warned people in the preview how Barcelona are going to have to work patiently at this game. They've been doing that all season long, though, Phil. In all of their games, they've really been building on that possession game. It's been a lot more attractive to watch. We're seeing it again here today. But this Khetafe team ain't going to roll over and get their belly rubbed by Barcelona. They're going to make it an alley fight and tight. And they've been showing up nicely and giving Umtiti one or two worries.
Missing some players. Gorosito out, Manojlovic, Pacheco. Little deflection, almost took it home.
I tell you what, Phil, does it come off the arm?
It comes off the leg, then the hand.
Certainly no intention, and certainly that would have been a very harsh penalty kick, but take nothing away from the Blues.
And here they are again. Driven in, Ter Stegen stays back, and good thing he did. The header from Kala right into his waiting hands. Although Piqué paying the price. Mascherano looking on in the background. He's seen battles before, and they might need him.
I think it's fair to say, coming up to 20 minutes now, that it has been Ilheta that has had the better opportunities. The style points unquestionably go to Barcelona, but threat and chances, the home team. But entertaining football as always. And
Titi under pressure, plays it square. Piqué already with a yellow here early in the first half.
What, the marking has been very good. That's a great run from Sergi.
Roberto gets past Antunes, tries to dish it off, but it skips away from Luis Suarez.
Yeah, it's poor control, Phil. It's a good ball from Sergi Roberto, and a good run, but just poor control by Suarez. I haven't seen too much of Suarez or Lionel or Dembele so far in this game.
Look at Molina. Had a start back in his hometown of Alcoyano. Hard challenges, and Dembele sliding over to the left.
Yeah. He likes what he's saying, all right. Lovely day out at the park, watching the local boys. English bookmakers give Khetafe a chance. And Barcelona just 1-3. And the home team 10-1, sluggish chance, and they're showing it.
Well, they haven't hit Barcelona's chin since 2011 when a Juan Valera goal, the only one of the match. Since then, 7 victories, 2 draws, no defeats for Barca. Trying to flip down that far side. Suarez causing problems. Jane out wide. Another tackle from the Uruguayan, but out it goes. Barca ball.
This looked like it came off Iniesta on the last touch, lifetime. That section of crowd thought so as well.
And again, Valverde. It's 4-3-3 on paper and to start, but you see a little of that 4-2-3-1 with Busquets getting some help from Rakitic under Valverde.
Always makes us shiver when you talk about formations with Barcelona.
Roll back again, Busquets. And regardless of formation, there seems to be a little bit more of the fluidity.
Absolutely. But this team, let's give full credit to this underdog side, sticking to their tasks admirably well. And we're all the benefactors for it. This is going to be a game.
Back in Iniesta. Arambari trying to close him down quickly.
So accustomed to this type of breakdown football that they've got to employ, Barcelona. Their patience is infinite. They know that the cracks will appear as time goes by, and this man will make cracks.
He is a crack. In the South American version, Messi, though, has not scored against Khetafe since 2012.
Off with his head.
Or maybe he's due. Gaku trying to knock it free, and it does stay. Arambari out, Molina wide. Fajr off to the races. The French-born Moroccan into the middle, and Ter Stegen cuts it out calmly.
Well, Dallas's men say, whenever we get the chance, we're going to leave our defensive holes and go at you. And they do, and the crowd's loving it. Well played, Dembele.
Trying to cut away from Jene de Koning, but the young Togolese defender, and then tripped up as he gets out of danger.
The man from Togo having a stormer against the Charrua. Good look at him. Absolutely relishing the chance to play against one of the world's best. Here's the wonderful hocus pocus from Ousmane. Wonderful hesitation, and needed to get out of a tight situation there with a wonderful poise and gale.
No, this is a bit of a concern. He is breathing heavy, but he's reaching for his hamstring. Ousmane Dembele, the young 20-year-old, and it looks like his day might be done already.
Yeah. Saying he doesn't need the stretcher, so he may just need some attention, but it's not a good look, that's for sure.
And already loosening up on the sidelines. Denis Suarez, perhaps the more natural pick.
Right there, and he goes and feels that left side right on the hamstring as he played that stab back heel. Yeah. If he's feeling it there, they'll not risk him.
Again, we saw, I guess most recently with even Real Madrid and even Pogba for Manchester United, you don't want to push it.
A lot of the Real Madrid players going down with hamstring pulls.
Kovacic, a groin pull that could keep him out for what, 2 months?
Yeah, sad.
Real Madrid stumbling against Levante and Valencia in back-to-back weeks at home. And that's one of the big storylines here today, Ray. And I know it would only be 4 weeks into the season, but if Barca wins, and if Madrid goes to Donostia and falls against La Real, it would be a 7-point gap a month into the season.
It's big-time worries for Zidane, traveling to Anoeta, and they make it a real fortress. Of course, Real only lost 4 times there last season, so they're going to take some cracking.
Deulofeu loosens up and looks like he'll be the choice. Flipped inside, no problem for Guaita. So the first La Liga start for the young Frenchman Dembele will end less than a half hour in. At the moment, Barca's shorthanded.
Innocuous type of situation, wasn't it? I mean, the young man went to play it back with the back heel, and that stabbing motion seemed to have put too much of a strain on the muscle, which is strange and unfortunate.
Stretching, perhaps?
Can never tell, Phil. Not taking any chances. He felt a twinge and probably did the right thing coming off earlier than later. Upset, disappointed.
Did well at times against Juventus in his first full start for Barca.
Sure, we saw glimpses of it here today. That wonderful brilliance in tight confines from the youngster. Sad day for him, though.
And they might not have got all of their wishes during the transfer window, but getting back Gerard Deulofeu gives them a weapon, although it's a weapon that has not hit the bullseye much for the Blaugrana.
Yeah, but he's been a great contributor, Phil. Ice bag goes straight on the back of the leg.
Calm touch to the inside. Fajr to Damian Suarez. The Uruguayan switches, and a wide open Victorino Antunes looks, waiting for help. Barca back, but not in numbers, and the little lift gives Marco Bergara a chance. Slots it in. Amat gets the rebound. Amat inside. Umtiti clears.
Nice
well
again.
by Gaku.
Brilliant
Gaku
control
to the goal line.
Hey, foul.
Although it looks like just couldn't keep it under control.
Takes a swipe at it. And here's the unfortunate incident for Dembele as he backheels it right here. That's where he feels it immediately. And you see him reach back. Something's went twang.
So Jared Deulofeu checking in a little earlier than expected.
He's been very, very good, Phil. Really linking up with Lionel Messi in particular.
Driven across early, and his first touch testing White.
Doesn't get enough on it. His first touch. He's going for the right pass to Suarez at the back post. Brilliant by Messi. He's already seen his target right there. He's looking for the pullback from Messi, but he decides at the last second to go for Suarez. Just doesn't get enough on his
23
pass.
years of age, out of the Girona region of Catalonia, coming over from Everton after spending last year on loan successfully at Milan. A different player, a harder player than he was, maybe a more focused player back in his first stint with Barca.
Just matured, Phil. And playing at those great clubs, especially Milan, in that atmosphere, in the tough environments of Serie A, really seems to have seasoned him well. You're right, his focus, his awareness, his maturity, it's all been much better.
Molina got the flick cleared away.
It's a great interception there by Sergio Roberto. Had to make his mind up really quickly, and did in a nanosecond.
Almost 3 times as many passes for Barcelona, but the chances have been for the home side.
Well, it's been possession football by Barca, which is always impressive and neat to watch, but no penetration for sure. Credit the Blues. Oh, nicely!
Flip back Molina, but from an offside position. That was close.
Was very close. Beautiful ball clipped in here. Let's take a look. Yep.
Just by a lead.
A frog's hair. Great identifying for that ball to Molina. A lot of experience from the ex-Betis man.
Nice run, Suarez. Acrobatic defense to knock it wide. Marco Bergara getting some help.
Again, the magic man's already sees it. Just one blink of a bee's eye and he picks this ball out. Are you kidding me? Absolutely wonderful from Lionel.
Torres sending it out for the corner. Former Sevilla product.
The vision is as impressive as anything, but then to execute the pass within a cat's whisker of being bullseye, amazing.
Messi caresses it over to Iniesta. Looks to return the favor. Umtiti, but right down Main Street.
Again, anything Messi can do, Iniesta can do. Maybe not better. Well, that pass was even better than Lionel's. An absolutely majestic ball from Don Andres, picking out the head of Umtiti to perfection, Phil. And when this man here is on his game, he could pick the dandruff off of a wasp's wing.
Hard hit in the midfield. Messi goes down and the card comes out.
And he's staying down here. Messi, he's usually bouncing straight back up, but he feels this one.
There is Kala.
Take a look. Oh, man. As I said, he doesn't go down looking for any sort of theatrics. Kala comes out with his dirty machete. Look at this pass from Iniesta, and it's not a bad header. He hasn't got much time to make his mind up. Well, the ball needed to be played down into the ground perhaps, but an admirable attempt, but peach of a pass from Iniesta.
Sergi to the inside to Sergio.
Good ball.
Iniesta one touch, Alba. And back to Don Andres. Sliding over Fajr. Luis Suarez at the edge of the area.
Showed way too much there. Beautiful interception by Vergara.
Still in the midfield, Khetafe. Molina surrounded by three, battling Piqué. And battling a little too hard. Piqué down again.
Well, we can expect that for the full 90 minutes from Bordalas's men. Ali fight. Prison rules. They're going to come at you. Make it uncomfortable. And again, another Edward Scissorhands challenge from behind.
Messi back and sprinting. Iniesta to the Argentine. Mentioned the international window, a frustrating one for him. Blasted Jenny, and standing with them all the way was Messi. And now a foul in midfield.
Lots of stuff happening, isn't there, in this wonderful game. Ali fight football in the midfield. His men really rattling the Barcelona glamour boys up front. And certainly Shabaski and Molina showing that they've come not to admire his team but to beat them.
Rakitic motoring up this right side. Deulofeu out wide. No one towards the box yet. Cuts to the goal line. Antunes with him. Opening now at the near post. Kala was there.
Right.
And now Jenny is down. There's some extras after the fact.
I'm not so sure if it's after. It seems that maybe there was a turn away, and then this is what I saw. Anyhow, we'll see in replay if it happens this way. Yeah,
Suarez,
nothing.
Maybe unintentionally.
For sure. Certainly looks that way.
Although Otamendi
Nothing
might have
really
a different
wrong
view.
there. No, it's not much. And Dakonam knows it. Yeah. Pure accident.
And Jenny up with a limp. And apology accepted. Suarez, with that reputation of being a bad boy at times, he will do what it takes to find an opening. To this point, there hasn't been one. Kind of interesting. 3 weeks into the season, there have been 3 different leaders. Real Madrid, Real Sociedad, now Barcelona.
Bad pass for Messi.
Quick touch up the middle. Up steps Busquets. Off to Messi. Markel staying with him. Good work from the former La Real midfielder. And he steals it away from Iniesta, but it bounces for Barca. Appealing for offside, but the flag stays down. A little slip. Umtiti getting tangled. Up steps Suarez. Gaku, another chance.
Busquets intercepts.
And it would have been offside, so Barca gets a break.
Tremendous defending on Messi by Markel Vergara, as you pointed out, Phil. Really sticking with Messi's shadow. Not able to wrestle free there.
Another quick burst from Deulofeu.
Lovely touch.
Antunes with the heel of his boot steals it away.
Leg here. Brilliant attacking of the defender. But this impressive Antunes up for this game tonight. The ex-Malaga man not diving in. Wonderful spacing between him and the ever dangerous Deulofeu. And just no way through again.
Go in, Deulofeu.
Absorbing game. Certainly cat and mouse football, but no way through for the big cat of Barcelona. right now. Nice play.
Touch back for Rakitic, trying to lay it off with Suarez. Gaku in, Kala out. Nice dance to the inside. Arambade, the young Uruguayan.
Nice play.
On loan from Boston River in Montevideo, one of the lesser lights of Uruguayan football, but still talented.
Yeah, he's not in the full team yet, but he's Uruguayan under-20 international. He's got a lot to offer. There's young Mauro.
Tunis.
Played again.
Lefeo scrambles to get in, and now a push for the foul.
Man, he had a good night's sleep last night. Antunes, Portuguese international, playing some top flight defending here, Phil. And he's had plenty of company across that back lane. Kala, Dakonam. And on that far side, Suarez is all up to snuff here against the Glamour boys.
Antunes spent some time in La Liga with Malaga, but then went away to Dinamo Kiev and back on loan. Looks like he's learned something in the interim.
11 times for the Portuguese national team in his time. A good career.
And Suarez
nice
banks
ball.
it into the middle. Knocked back for the Japanese striker who strikes home.
Are you kidding me? Astonishing from Gaku Shibasaki. The Japanese international comes out. And this sun is rising all right. The ex-Tenerife man lights it up spectacularly well and hits the absolute snot out of this one. What a ball into the mid area. It's not defended, but this is absolute dynamite. A wonderful strike right through from the Japanese man, and there's no chance for Ter Stegen. This is a cross between a rapier and a sledgehammer. From Gaku, it's perfection of the highest order. That is an absolutely magisterial goal. And it's nothing less than they deserve. When you look at the first 40 minutes of this game, their defence has got to come in for full applause, Phil, as we were rightfully giving the defence. We've basically hardly mentioned Guaita in goal for Khetafe, and it's all credit to the men in front of him that have been absolutely wonderful, and they live for those chances. The sporadic chances are always there for a team that plays like this, but then to answer the question, that number 10 took a leaf out of the other number 10 he's playing against here on the opposite side of the field, because that was nothing less than Messi-esque. What a goal.
Sportingly helping Piqué back to his feet after pretty much undressing the Barcelona defense. Credit to Marco Bergara, who acrobatically contorted himself to put that back to Gaku for his first La Liga goal.
And the ball into him, Phil, as well, needs to be appreciated. It was a dangerous ball right into the heart of Barcelona's defence. The strength up front for a half challenge on it, and they still were able to find a way through. But it was just the calculus of a goal solved in a nanosecond. That's what we saw there from Gaku, the ex-Tenerife man.
11 caps. And if you missed it, you can watch it again. The Volkswagen halftime show coming up. Gaku, part of Japan's loss against Saudi Arabia. But would not be surprised now that Japan has qualified for the World Cup. A few more goals like that, and he'll stay in the starting lineup. Deulofeu tucks it tight. Sergi couldn't quite reach it.
Again, wonderful defending from Antunes. Here another look at this. Again, the zenith angles are down to perfection. The azimuth angles on minutes are down to perfection. The wonderful balletic strike is an absolute work of art. That is footballing art that should be hung up in the Louvre. Nothing less.
First goal.
What a goal.
To beat Ter Stegen this season.
I'm not really a great fan of real crash bang wallop hits from distance, but there's so much more that needs to be taken into account with a volley like that. Everything has to be 100% spot on perfection, and we just saw that illustrated there. You get those angles, those degrees off of your calculations by the finest margins, Phil, and it's in row X, not for the man from Japan.
Ernesto Valverde, at least for the first time since the Supercopa, needing a comeback from Barca.
Yeah, 2 goals now to take the lead, and the way their defence has been playing, Khetafe, and the way they've been wrapping up the real artisans in Messi and Iniesta. Suarez has been very, very well marked, but very much in the margins of this game so far, Phil.
There's Messi deep in the midfield, chips it in for Suarez. Out comes Guaita, gets the ball and might have left something in for the man.
I'm not so sure.
30-year-old
He's saying his
Valencia
apologies.
native.
He comes and makes it early. It's good goalkeeping for me. He's a big man, Phil.
6'3", close to 200. Molina, who's caused Piqué headache after headache, still in play. And still Molina.
Good hold up.
Fajr on this near side. Gaku drops it back. Arambadi.
Confidence.
And Jai.
Nicely.
But behind the run. Falls for Fajr. And his right foot fails.
Yeah, he knows he should have done better. This isn't an accidental bad cross. He's picking the back man out. And he is as free as a bird in the park. And he comes through and tries to pull a Gaku off with a half volley. This is good goalkeeping. He gets to the ball at the same time as the challenge is made on the player. I don't think there's anything cynical there from Vicente Guaita.
Well, it has not been a good first half. They lose Dembele, and now they are losing as we head towards the half. Deulofeu. Messi. Roberto. Back for Lionel. Iniesta in the pocket.
Well marked again. Good defending from the Blues.
Gets the veteran call here. Not much contact from Suarez, but enough.
The Uruguayan youngster comes through the back of Iniesta, and the referee's opinion, it's not much that he doesn't get wrong right here. Oh, Phil, I'm not so sure. That's a wonderful challenge from the lad who started at Defensor, Damian Suarez.
A considerate challenge to the ball. It wasn't just a whack.
Yeah.
Did his best to avoid contact.
There's a toe poke away, but it sets up the chance for the medicine man.
And boy, would this be a dose of good medicine for Barca if they can grab an equalizer. Khetafe, the more dangerous of the two teams. And a narrow edge with about 30 yards separating Messi from goal. 3 in the wall. That's it. Into the corner. And Guaita slaps it away.
Staggering skill from Lionel. Pummels this one, and look at the curve and the swerve. It's heading away. That is a world-class save. It's a brilliant hit, and it's a magisterial save. He extends his fingernails. He cannot do any better than that. Marvellous at both ends.
Rakitic still loose. Jane. Messi. This time the left footer goes high.
What a save. He's always been a good goalkeeper. 30-year-old now, Phil. We remember him when he was backing up Canizares at Valencia. And then Moya arrived, and he had some good goalkeepers in front of him all the way through his time at Valencia. Valencia didn't want to let him go. He spent 6-7 seasons with the boys with the bats from their shirts, but Man, he pulled out a staggering save there. What a good game of football, and what an upset we got on the cards here now. Messi says, save this one. It's painted in like a beautiful dot. But no way past this sent there.
Early on Molina, and we saw that absolutely unbeatable, stunning goal from Gaku Shibasaki, a superb headed assist from Bergada, and what a finish that was.
Two changes now have been made by Valverde. The first, an obligatory one in the first half, as Dembélé limped off the pitch with what appeared to be a thigh strain. Let's hope that's what it limits itself to. And now Suarez coming on to replace Andres Iniesta for the second half. No changes for the Blues. Jose Bordalas will be absolutely delighted with what they've done. He also knows there's 45 minutes to go, and against a club like Football Barcelona, you cannot afford to take your foot off the pedal. Jordi Alba there finding Rakitic. Busquets back to Gerard Piqué. Sergio Roberto.
I think we've learned a lot about Ernesto Valverde in this game. We've learned that he wasn't afraid to play the same team that played against Juventus. He isn't necessarily a manager who's going to make rotations just for the sake of it. However, we've also learned that he's brave enough to take off one of his key players like Andres Iniesta at half-time when he sees that quite clearly the team's a little bit tired and lacking a bit of spark in midfield. So I think it's very interesting the decisions he has and hasn't taken, and we'll wait and see what this Barca are made of in this second half. They've had it all their own way so far this season. They beat Real Betis on the opening day 2-0, then they beat Deportivo Alaves 2-0 away from home. They thrashed Espanyol 5-0, beat Juve in the Champions League 3-0, one of the best performances for a long time from a Barca team. And now they're losing 1-0 at half-time away at newly promoted Khetafe. Let's see if they can make it 4 from 4, 5 from 5 in all competitions.
Well, they've certainly come out with a more intense approach. We just saw Gerard Piqué go through the back of Shibasaki there in midfield. The referee waved play on. We'll remind ourselves of the lineup for Barcelona. Ter Stegen in goal, Sergio Roberto, Piqué and Titi Alba at the back. Rakitic, Busquets and now Suarez in midfield, and up front Gerard De Rafeo, who came on in the first half to replace Dembélé. Luis Suarez and Leo Messi for Khetafe. Whiter in goal, Suarez, Genet, Callen, Atunes at the back, and Mbari and Bergara in the holding midfield positions, with Fahir, Shibasaki and Daye playing behind lone striker Jorge Molina. And they've done a brilliant job so far. Here's Busquets on the ball for Barcelona, finding Ivan Rakitic. Rakitic finding Messi, Messi to Dennis. Dennis picking up Jordi Alba. Alba gives it away to Shibasaki. Suarez was quickly in to take it off the Japanese's foot. Rakitic again. Gives the ball to Sergio Roberto. Dennis. Still Dennis, he goes down. I think he went over with his own impetus there, his own momentum. He's looking at the referee and appealing for a foul. Certainly live, it didn't appear there was too much there. Here's Gerard De Rafeo.
I think the problem was he didn't go down with the initial contact, did he? It looked somewhat of something like a dive, really, from Dennis. I'm not saying it was, but there was initial impact, contact, and he didn't go down then. Maybe if he would have done it, it would have been a different story.
Here's Jordi Alba. Bit of a chase back for Luis Suarez. Suarez picks out Piqué. You can tell it's Piqué because the jeering goes up a couple of notches. As De Rafeo gets into the box, neat turn, just got away from him, but the clearance came off his shin. His Dennis combining with Jordi Alba. And Damian Suarez takes it off him. Straight to Umtiti, however. Good ball from Umtiti. First time to Luis Suarez from his namesake Dennis. And the flag up.
Well, the linesman was just waiting for Luis Suarez to touch the ball here, and the moment the Uruguayan did, up went the flag. I think he was just offside. There was the contact, you see, outside, and he doesn't go down until he's sort of inside. So it looked a little bit suspicious, I think. He definitely takes one step and then decides to go down.
Well, but the referee could perfectly well have given a free kick right on the edge of the box there. Perhaps would have been the correct decision.
I think you're right.
The details of the offsides called against each side. Certainly Khitafi. Well, they know that the job is only halfway done. Ter Stegen, cool as you like under pressure there. Sets up Sergio Roberto, he's got a bit of space. Deulofeu ahead of him. Deulofeu to take on Antunes, and Bergara back with a firm challenge, and he wins the free kick. Deulofeu falling into the trap set by the veteran Basque midfielder, who's playing an absolute blinder.
Yeah, he's looking excellent, is he? Markel Bergara. What a signing. Really intelligent bit of business from Khitafi to bring that steal into midfield. He's very, very strong on the ball, but he's also an intelligent player, as we saw with that headed assist for the goal.
Free kick quickly taken. Titi mistimed the leap but got his head to it. There's Fahir helping him out. Damien Suarez didn't make the greatest of balls in. Fahir with another chance. Falls to Molina, a bit slow there. Titi taking advantage. Falls to Messi. Oh, lovely play from Messi, evading the first challenge. Still Messi. Wide to Deulofeu. Deulofeu on the edge of the box. Flicks it into the far post. Dennis lays it down for Messi as he couldn't quite get the shot off. Excellent counter-attack from Barcelona. You have to say, well defended though from Khitafi. Dennis Sergio Roberto with the cross into the hands of Vicente Whiter.
They're looking so much better, aren't they? Football Club Barcelona in the second half. I think everything that we were missing in the first half, we're seeing in the second half. They're getting to the final third, they're getting those balls into the box, they're creating opportunities. We're seeing more of Messi running at defenders. Certainly something that Ernesto Valverde has said, or the introduction of Denis Suarez, has changed something here in this game, no question about it.
And problems for Gaku Shibasaki, who's down 15 yards into the Barca half. And doesn't look too happy, doesn't look to be struggling too much. The boot, I think, is undone there. Maybe complaining to the referee that he was stepped on. The last taking decisions. And it looks as though Shibasaki's struggling.
It's Alvaro Jimenez, who's warming up on the sidelines and could well come on to replace him. Jimenez, of course, who scored that wonderful winning goal against Leganés in the derby of the south of Madrid.
Well, he's being applauded as he heads back to the bench. Is it to sit down again, or is it to take the bib off? Shibasaki limping off, and I think the fans giving an ovation to the Japanese. Well, for this, deserves more than an ovation. What an absolutely stunning finish from Gaku Shibasaki, and everything points to the fact that he won't be continuing. And as you can see, Jimenez making the final preparations. Bordalas very close to him, giving him the instructions. Jimenez, the product, yet another product of Real Madrid's Fabrica Academy. And Deulofeu penalised for a bit of dangerous play. Picks himself up a yellow card. The right foot was raised. And is it Molina who he caught? Piqué just pushing him. Well, no doubt about it. The boot just catching the forehead of Molina. Deulofeu, of Arambarri, I have to say, sorry. And Deulofeu still disagrees and goes over to complain to the Uruguayan.
Well, I think it is a free kick because it is dangerous play. He had no idea that Arambarri was coming in with his head there, but it was slightly dangerous. Having seen the replay, I'm not sure there was any contact.
So Shibasaki, we won't be seeing a repeat of that scorching volley that beat Mark Ter Stegen, and which still represents the difference between the two sides. In his place, Alvaro Jimenez, 52 years of age, from Cordoba, down on the south coast of Spain. said, a product of the Real Madrid Fabric Academy. Tunis with the free kick. It wasn't badly struck, but it was always rising as it passed by and over Mark ter Stegen, and the goalie's defending.
I don't think Bordalas wanted to take any risks on Gaku Shibasaki against Barca, especially for this second half. He needs every single one of his players to be 100%. He needs every challenge to be 100%. He needs them defending, running back, attacking when possible, trying to catch Barca again on the counter if they can pick up another goal. And he certainly doesn't want to be carrying a player. And as soon as Shibasaki showed that he was slightly injured, even if it wasn't necessarily enough to force him off, I think he wanted a new player to come on so they could give 100%.
Brilliant play there from Samuel Umtiti, under pressure from Amaf Ndiaye, and very nonchalant indeed. The Barcelona centre-back, who's becoming a firm favourite of the Catalan fans, certainly forced himself into the #1 spot alongside Gerard Piqué in central defence.
And he's got a song at the Camp Nou as well. I won't do it now, but they basically just say Umtiti. But it sounds good when the entire stadium is singing it. Not many players do have a song at the Camp Nou, so shows he's popular.
Sergio Roberto drilling that one in, set up nicely by Gerard Piqué, and he just saw a way through there. In the end, it was relatively straightforward for Vicente Whiter. Had to make sure he got his body behind it, though. Well struck from Sergio Roberto. Still, Barcelona struggle to make any real impression on the goal defended by Vicente Whiter. That one loose. ter Stegen watches it over for a goal kick. Should really, perhaps they haven't seen the musical Oliver. Should be Umtiti, Umtiti, that's how it goes. Umtiti, Umtiti, everyone knows, but obviously not part of Barcelona culture.
Maybe you could introduce it, Simon.
I will do next time I'm there, Duncan. Throw in to Khitafe, and Tunis to take it. On loan from Dinamo Kiev, Vitorino Tunes. And he's been absolutely excellent this afternoon so far. Sergio Roberto didn't see that. Gerard Piqué saw the danger and was well placed. Alba, long ball looking for Suarez, but only finding Genet, who sends it all the way back to Mark ter Stegen. And looking a little bit frustrated there as Barcelona seem to retake the initiative. Busquets to Gerard Piqué. Sergio Roberto down to, was given away by Leo Messi, and a player down. Didn't see who it was.
Suarez, maybe.
Yes, indeed it is. Meanwhile, play continues. Here's Ndiaye. He's going to try a shot, no, chips it in. It's headed clear by Samuel Umtiti. Deulofeu protecting the ball as he goes out for the throw. Free kick given, and it's taken quickly by Deulofeu. And perhaps the reason is that we saw Luis Suarez who got back somewhat gingerly to his feet. Good news there for Valverde, who wouldn't want to be forced into a third and final substitution before the hour mark of this game. Janeta Konam. That is Suarez. Got away from Umtiti, and free kick given. Fahir involved in everything, and I think he's claiming, well, I was down, I couldn't really prevent myself there, but he does foul Umtiti, and the referee quick to blow the whistle. Suarez, who did feel the studs on the ankle there, seems to have recovered okay. Rakitic. Sergio Roberto. Deulofeu. Back to Gerard Piqué. Samuel Umtiti. Alba.
So well organised, this Khitafe team. You just watch them when they're not on the ball. Constantly moving, that line of four constantly behind the ball. Very, very disciplined.
Burst of space from Rakitic finds Suarez, and well defended by Genet. In the end, it is a corner, but it prevented any major problems from occurring there. The player from Togo. Messi swings the corner in. Headed clear by Juan Cala, helped on its way by Jimenez. And a chase back for Jordi Alba to try and keep some pressure on the home side. Sergio Roberto, the only two stay back for corners, the two fullbacks today. Jordi Alba on the ball. Here's Denis Suarez. Real opportunity for Denis in the second half. Here's Busquets. Ball. Leo Messi gets away from Antunes, gets away from Genet, puts the ball into the box. Nobody waiting though. And look of frustration and annoyance on the face of Leo Messi as we just get past the hour mark in the Alfonso Perez Coliseum.
I'll tell you what, Simon, it's a wonderful advert for Spanish football. It's a wonderful advert for Spain's second division as well. We're looking at three sides that have come up. Girona, one of them, who've been magnificent to watch so far this season, kicked off the campaign with that famous draw against Atletico Madrid at their stadium. We've seen Levante, who picked up a point at the Santiago Bernabeu last weekend, and another side who did brilliantly in the Segunda and who are looking very, very strong this season. And now we're seeing Khetafe, lost one game all season in the Segunda last season, and here they are leading 1-0 against Football Club Barcelona. It's not over yet, there's still a long way to go, but even so, at the 60-minute mark, they put in a superb performance. They've scored an absolute worldie of a goal, one of the best goals we'll see this season probably, and they've shown that they're very, very comfortable in this division.
Lovely skill there from Messi, finds Busquets. Busquets under pressure, responds brilliantly to get away from Alembari. Finds Deulofeu, drops his shoulder, but he's finding it really difficult to get beyond Antunes. He's helped out by Sergio Roberto, back to Denis. Denis with the shot, Barcelona back in the game, and it's Denis Suarez with a goal. It's a well-worked move down the right flank. It looked as though it had petered out, but when the ball falls perfectly for Denis Suarez, with very little backlift from his right foot, he chips the ball beyond the reach of Vicente White into the back of the net, and Barcelona back in the game. All credit to Deulofeu, but he's helped out by Sergio Roberto. He looks up, cuts it back, and that's a brilliant finish and impossible for the Khetafe keeper.
It's an excellent goal. We said that Football Club Barcelona have improved in this second half, and I think that absolutely sums it up. We've seen the tenacity of Deulofeu, we've seen the intelligence of Sergio Roberto to pull the ball back and find Denis Suarez, and we've seen Denis Suarez, who came on in this second half as a substitute, add something different. He's found some space inside the area and he's pulled off what is a magnificent finish. Really, really clever. As you said, barely any backlift whatsoever. It's not about power, that finish, it's all about precision, and he puts it straight into the top corner. There's no stopping it.
Well, that sets us up brilliantly for the final half hour. Samuel Umtiti playing the ball out from the back. Just wonder whether Khetafe may be starting to tire a little bit. Leo Messi does brilliantly well. Here's Sergio Roberto combining with Deulofeu. The fans getting behind Khetafe. Suarez steps over the ball, and Bergara hoiks it away for a Barcelona throw-in. Suarez, a wry smile on his face as he realised there was nobody waiting behind that step over. Here's the scorer, Denis Suarez, adding that little bit of spark that we thought he might. Danger here, very nearly fell for Jordi Alba as Alvaro Jimenez couldn't quite get the ball away. Damian Suarez helps out. Jimenez wins a free kick. Or is it a throw-in? I think it's a free kick.
Yeah, I think it is.
By Denis Suarez there.
Obstruction from Suarez as he just stepped across in front of him as we see the goal again. Really clever from Sergio Roberto. Magnificent finish as well from Denis, we've said that already, but it's clever from Sergio Roberto. The instinct would have been to go to Luis Suarez, who'd made that near post run, but he got his head up, he saw that Denis Suarez was in more space, had a better angle, and he picked him out, and the finish is absolutely unstoppable into the side netting. Really good football from Football Club Barcelona, and well, the youngsters have dug Ernesto Valverde out of a bit of a hole there. the three of them combining brilliantly.
They have. I really like the way that Dennis just stopped the ball first, just to give himself a second of time to compose himself, and then curled it away from Whiter. 1-1, and this one beautifully poised now. The ball in from Alba towards Suarez. It's cleared by Damian Suarez. Just one or two Suarez too many on the pitch at the moment. I like it. Rakitic and Bergara being spoken to by the referee. Fernando Borbalán is a referee who handled the game in Mestalla between Valencia and Real Madrid, that thrilling 2-2 draw, and he was very impressive because he did allow physical contact, he did allow play to flow, he played the advantage absolutely brilliantly for both sides, and seems to be in pretty tight control of this one too. Rakitic there, possibly fouled again. This time the whistle has to go.
Really good Ivan Rakitic. He's grown into this game as well. We've seen much more from him in this second half. Such an important player at Football Club Barcelona.
That one very nearly finding Gerard Piqué there, very nearly surprising the Khetafe defence. Barcelona are so impressive at taking quick free kicks.
More often than not, because it's Leo Messi who's standing over them, who's, in football terms, the most intelligent player in the world.
And Ndiaye. And Barry picking out Damian Suarez. Now Jimenez. And seems to run straight into Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba turning, look at the linesman. It was the linesman who notified the referee that there was foul play there. Jordi Alba has a long look at the linesman as he sees a yellow card for that. I think Jimenez actually, let's have a look. Well, he makes the most of it, really. Just the hand grazing the outside of his jawbone there. I don't think Alba can be called guilty of much more than obstruction there, but he got a yellow card for it.
Yeah, he just stood his ground, didn't he? Obviously, we've seen it in slow motion. It all happened in real time. Difficult to get out of the way of that kind of thing.
Faisal Fahir with the free kick. Danger here for Barca. Swung into the far post, and up for it was Janet Daconan. And in the end, blasted over from Jimenez, who's had a bit of an impact since coming off the bench. And we see again the determination of Deulofeu as Antunes lost his ground. Very intelligent, as you said, from Sergio Roberto, and an excellent finish from Denis Suarez. An all-round goal made in Masia, made in Barcelona's Masia Academy. Here's Deulofeu. Back to Rakitic. And he loses out to Faisal Fahir. And couldn't quite link up with Ndiaye because Umtiti was the sharpest of the lot. Deulofeu taking on Antunes, getting into the box, just couldn't quite make the pullback. Still Deulofeu, and there were so many blue shirts there that he ran out of space.
Really good though, once again, really positive from Deulofeu.
The whistle's gone for offside. I don't think Molina heard it. He's a little bit annoyed with the linesman's decision. I think the body language says, "I disagree, sir." Gerard Piqué grateful to see the flag raised on that occasion, and that's the kind of break that gets the fans off their feet and getting behind the home side. Rakitic on the ball.
I think it shows how this game's changed though, Simon, how infrequently we've mentioned Molina in this second half compared to the first half. He was such an important presence for Khetafe, holding the ball up in those attacks they had in the first half, but we barely mentioned his name in this second period.
There's Leo Messi as Suarez gets up. Suarez in the box. He didn't quite make the pass he wanted to make. I think he was waiting for Messi's arrival and expected it to be sooner rather than later. Also had Denis Suarez available. Here's Busquets. Barcelona starting to impose themselves now with half of this second period still to go. Deulofeu. Rakitic. Khaytafi still have the honour of saying they're the first team to score against Barcelona in La Liga this season.
In any competition this season.
Except for the Super Cup.
Well, except for the Super Cup. All right, I'll let you off for that.
Here's Joan Piqué. Suarez, little touch to Rakitic, he gets it back. Just driving through a forest of bodies there. Leo Messi. Messi goes through them all. Couldn't quite. I think he got past 4 before coming across. But there's a huge appeal for penalty. Waved away by referee Borbalan. Chance on the break here. Picked up by Molina. And it's going to fall to Jimenez. Only Umtiti can get across. And does he get across cleanly or not? The linesman looks unmoved. The referee waves play on. Another brilliant piece of defending then from Samuel Umtiti.
Well, he was 100% committed, wasn't he? The Frenchman was determined to get there, and according to the referee and the linesman, who had a very, very good view, he did. Wow, but I'm not sure, having seen the replay. Yes, he did.
Does get the
definitely does
the toe of his boot to the ball. I think after it came off Jimenez. Offside there against Deulofeu. Barca have to watch being caught on that kind of break, as more and more in these final 20 minutes they'll be pushing forward, and any ball lost like this one can lead to problems. I don't think there's anything there really from Jeanette on Suarez. Suarez seeming to be on his way down when he felt the ball was out of his control. Borbalan was unmoved anyway. Amaf Ndiaye is going to be the second player to be replaced for Khaytafi, and is replaced by Sergio Mora, the former Rayo Vallecano and Murcia central midfielder, perhaps just to help out Bergara and Adam Barry a little bit in these final 20 minutes or so. Jimenez, the softest of touches there. It'll be a goal kick to Football Club Barcelona.
Well, of course, it's going to be a huge test for Khaytafi these final 20 minutes. Barca absolutely determined to continue their 100% start to the season. This is the penalty, or the penalty shout anyway. Penalty claim from Suarez. Was he caught or wasn't he by Dakonam? I think there's certainly contact, but as you said, Simon, looked as though Suarez was maybe on his way down already. However, Dakonam does put his leg sort of through Suarez's legs. It's a slightly clumsy and unnecessary challenge. Could have been given.
Busquets goes down and wins a free kick. Slightly awkward looking challenge. Sergio Busquets quickly back on his feet. And Borbalan's giving a yellow card to Suarez, and well, he's earned himself that, the Uruguayan.
Well, he's furious he didn't get his penalty, and he's not let up. He's been in the referee's ear until he's been shown the yellow card.
Well, referees have been very, very clear so far this season that they're not going to accept any dissent at all, and you can see it. There's just that moment, well, the replay stopped there. There was just a moment where Suarez continued his complaint, and Fernandez Borbalan turned around and said, right, yellow card. Looking for Piqué. Oh, he couldn't quite bring it under control. And I think the flag was up for offside there anyway. Well, Suarez is offside. Whether Piqué was or not, it was tight, but the flag was immediately raised by the linesman on the far side. But we've seen quite a few players on the opening day of this season. Ever Banega picked himself up a double yellow card in about 10 seconds.
That was ridiculous. Yeah.
We saw Griezmann get a double yellow card and get sent off in the first week as well. And refs have been clear, no dissent will be accepted. As Luis Suarez had just found out. Goal kick to Barcelona. Bordalas scheming away with his number 2 there in the technical area in front of the dugout. Piqué playing the ball out for Barcelona. Samuel Umtiti. First time back from Suarez to Dennis. Dennis doing well. Deulofeu couldn't quite get there. Barcelona start again. Sergio Roberto inside to Ivan Rakitic. Busquets. Denis Suarez. Luis Suarez back to Ivan Rakitic. Here's Messi. Tries the typical scooped pass towards Rakitic. The defence got it away. Throw to Barcelona. Sergio Roberto shakes off the first challenge. They couldn't get beyond Juan Cala. Solid as a rock for most of the afternoon. Gerard Piqué penalised for that challenge. Oh, Jorge Molina, some tremendous battle between these two, isn't it?
There's a few good battles going on, isn't there, on the pitch? I think Deulofeu against Tunes has been a really interesting one.
Just on that replay, a little nutmeg from Denis Suarez on Markel Bergara.
We're going to see Paulinho coming on, Simon.
Many of us expected him to start today to give some of those players in midfield a bit of a rest. Ivan Rakitic has clocked up plenty of minutes already this season, as we said in the first half. 5 games, including this one for Barcelona, over the next 15 days.
It'll be interesting to see who Paulinho comes on for. He could play in the Busquets role, or he could play in the Rakitic role.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was Rakitic, although Rakitic has been one of Barca's top performers perhaps today. Good work there from Messi. With Denis Suarez looking back, just wants to be aware of where Messi is. Messi, return ball to Denis. Not quite the perfect control. Damian, his attempted clearance was blocked down by Messi. Comes to Rakitic. Now Deulofeu. Patient build-up from Barcelona. Sergio Roberto to Busquets. That line of blue players across the face of the penalty area. Busquets absolutely mercurial there. Here's Rakitic. Picks out Jordi Alba. Good control. Looks up. He's got Damian Suarez to beat, and those are words which strike fear into many strikers in the league. It's difficult to get past Damian Suarez. He defended that brilliantly.
Very, very solid. And you could almost see he was kind of saying, there's no way past me. He was encouraging Jordi Alba to take him on. He couldn't.
Well, it's Rakitic who is given a bit of a rest. Good performance from him today. And an opportunity for Jose Paulo Becerra Maciel, fortunately better known as Paulinho. Sent long by Vicente White, flicked on by Molina. Molina again looking to link with Jimenez. Jordi Alba wins the throw. With Daniel Suarez, not the kind to quickly return the ball. He's such a battling character. I mean, the Uruguayan footballer in its essence is probably a mixture of Damian Suarez and Luis Suarez. On opposite sides today, they have shared the pitch on occasions for the Uruguayan national side. No relation. Good first time ball from Deulofeu to Paulinho. Deulofeu fighting to get back. Sergio Roberto with the ball into Paulinho. Deulofeu just couldn't quite get it on the end of the return pass.
Yeah, he read that well, didn't he, Deulofeu? Knew that the header was going back towards the goalkeeper, but couldn't quite get there ahead of Guaita.
Well, every long clearance from Guaita seems to find the head of Jorge Molina. On that occasion, there was no one really to link up with. Remember Barry there. A solid performance from him. The whole Khetafe side has performed absolutely brilliantly.
Well, if Bordalas can get this kind of performance out of his Khetafe players week in, week out, which so far he's managed to do, in fairness to him, then I really think Khetafe are going to have a very good campaign and potentially a fairly comfortable campaign. I don't think they'll have too many relegation worries if they do continue to play at this level, this commitment, this organisation, this discipline. They've been superb so far this season, absolutely superb.
Gerard Deulofeu pulled up for this foul or shirt tug or or whatever you want to call it, on Juan Callo. He doesn't agree too much with the referee's decision, but it seems fairly clear that the whistle was going to go. It's a workmanlike Khetafe side. That hasn't always been the case in the past. In their past spell in the top flight, they had some brilliantly talented players, but they didn't really give the same kind of impression of teamwork and being prepared to really get stuck in for the team as they have done under Bordalas. Aiming for Denis Suarez. He was lucky to get away with that for dangerous play. Jimenez! And well dealt with by Mark ter Stegen. And that's another excellent attempt from Khetafe. And Barcelona know that they've got a real task in their hands here. Just over 10 minutes to go. Gené doing brilliantly, but he gives the ball away in the end to Denis. Denis gets it back from Luis Suarez. And, well, there was no going forward from there. Jordi Alba, the man with the final touch. It will be a throw to Khetafe. Here's that attempt from Álvaro Jiménez. Quite catch it as he would have liked. Good work, really, I suppose, from Denis Suarez to just do enough to put him off. But 1 or 2 problems for ter Stegen there.
Yeah, he managed to get hold of it, but it was a good strike. Very good strike, and certainly asked questions of the Germany goalkeeper.
Khetafe looking confident now as they get men forward. It's not often with 10 minutes to go against Barcelona that a team underdogs. Brilliant control there by Jimenez. Overhits the cross, unfortunately, but the control was brilliant. But it's not often you see a team, one of the more modest, humble teams, with so many men forward in the last 10 minutes.
Well, I tell you what, I think their reaction since the Barca goal has been magnificent. You know, a lot of teams leading 1-0 against Football Club Barcelona, on the verge of what would have been, or what could have been, an incredible result, an historic result on their return to the top flight. Barca then get the goal, and it's sort of all guns ho from Barcelona after that. They really went for that second one for a couple of minutes, but Khetafe held on, and now, well, we haven't seen too many Barca opportunities in the last few minutes. It's much more even once again, this game, and they've reacted brilliantly.
Big flick on from Jimenez again, held up by Molina. Oh, he does brilliantly well. Here's Jimenez, first time pass. Here's the opportunity, and in the end it was deflected away or blocked by Sergio Roberto. Mauro Arambari very nearly becoming Getafe's hero for the second game on the trot. Really well worked move. Jimenez and Molina doing what they do best, Molina especially. And that one taking an awkward deflection, just clipping the outside of the post.
I think ter Stegen will tell you had it covered, but yeah, it hit the post, and it's a corner kick for Khetafe.
It's going to be Faisal Fahir to take it. Molina, the obvious target man in the middle there. Also up is Janed Dakonam. In comes the corner. There's Dakonam and Rose to greet it. And chance for Barca. De La Feu breaking quickly. He's got Suarez to his left. And Leo Messi to his right, goes to the middle. Is Suarez, a really poor first touch. And Luis Suarez will be, well, furious with himself for that. That was a dreadful first touch for a man who specialises in that kind of break.
Well, it was a dreadful first touch and a dreadful pass as well from Luis Suarez. He didn't do anything well. It was all dreadful. And it was a really good opportunity as well for Football Club Barcelona. I was just thinking, after Getafe's positivity and after complimenting them for getting men forward and trying to find the winner, would they actually be made to pay for that from that corner, as it looked like Barca were going to counter-attack and potentially find the winning goal? But Khetafe lucky that Suarez messed it up.
2 minutes through the middle, it's brilliantly defended once again by Samuel Umtiti, with Arambari putting a lot of pressure on him. He's just become a bit of a constant presence in attack over the last few minutes, the young Uruguayan, as quite clearly, as you say, I think, Duncan, Khetafe sense they've got a chance of the 3 points here. 1 point is a magnificent result for Bordalas and company. 3 points would be, well, one of the huge stories of the season so far. So, full credit to the side from the south of Madrid, but it ain't over yet. Leo Messi on the ball. Feeds it through. Paulinho writes the headline. Set up by Leo Messi. What a way to make your first mark on the history of Football Club Barcelona. It's Paulinho A signing that's been questioned over this summer, Duncan, but that goal is worth a 7-point lead momentarily over Real Madrid, and that has value.
Still 6 minutes to go, yeah, but you're absolutely right, and it's just pure power here from Paulinho. It's a brilliant run. He's a box-to-box midfielder. Look at that power to get beyond the Khetafe defence, and it's an excellent finish as well. He scores a lot of goals, does Paulinho. As you say, it was a signing that was questioned. He came from China. He didn't have too much success in the Premier League with Tottenham Hotspur, but he's a player who plays every single Brazil national game, and he scores a lot of goals for the national team, and I think there he sums up what he's all about.
There was no way on earth Djene Daconan was getting near that ball there. He held him off with his body, used all his strength. He's not the fastest player in the world, but you try taking it off him when he's on a run. As you pointed out, the run was brilliant. Messi, of course, clocked it immediately. And the finish, well, giving Vicente White no chance. But the way he shrugged off the challenge from Djene, who's been brilliant this afternoon. Very impressive indeed. Meanwhile, Francisco Portillo comes on. I have to say, I didn't see who was replaced, but we'll fill you in as soon as we can. That one cleared by Umtiti. We're inside the last 5 minutes. Barcelona get their noses in front. Damian Suarez with the throw. Is Jimenez. Luis Suarez helping out in defence. Jimenez gets another opportunity. Alba clears. Back by Djene. Combination between Mora and Alan Barry. The cross whipped in by Portillo. Falls to Gerard Deulofeu in the most un-Barca-esque fashion. He just hoiks it away. And it goes all the way through to Vicente White. That shows a little bit how seriously Barcelona are taking the task they face here. It's taken them a long, hard battle to get back into the game, and they're not of a mood to give up the advantage they've somehow managed to take here. Portillo penalised, free kick to Football Club Barcelona.
Brilliant goal from Paulinho, and he's not a player that's going to start week in, week out. He's not a player that's going to make maybe massive differences to the way this Barca side play, but he is a player that's got goals and bags of quality. He's a box-to-box player, and he's very, very strong.
He's got something that Barcelona typically don't have in midfield, which is that physical strength. Barcelona don't really, you don't see a goal like that so usually from a Barcelona player. Here's Messi. There, he's spotted the run, and the way he shrugs off Djene there is brilliant. And then with a very limited angle, he cuts across, hits it just inside the far post, just beyond the reach of Vicente White. It's a brilliant finish. White expecting him to drill it low to the near post, and the Brazilian making no mistake. And that's not a typical Football Club Barcelona goal. Free kick, which Busquets is certainly taking his time in delivering. Damian Suarez has picked up a yellow card for that. A little bit of argy-bargy there just inside the Khetafe half. Got a feel for the Khetafe players, really. They've possibly deserved a little more, although Barcelona in the second half have shown plenty of commitment, oodles of intensity. Beautiful control there from Deulofeu. Finds Leo Messi. There's danger here. Messi's looking for the shot, just outside the post. Corner given. You were talking about his footballing intelligence before. I don't think that actually hit Djene, but the referee thought, well, if Messi's missed the target, it must have taken a different, surely.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he was thinking. No, it's a great effort from Messi, and that's where he's so dangerous, between the lines, picking up the ball, attacking the defence and getting his shot away.
Barcelona's sense, I think, that the Khetafe players are just finding it a bit of a struggle to get through to the 90 minutes here. Could be famous last words. They don't want to lose the ball in any silly positions here. Messi leaving it. Kept in play by Dennis, but waiting there was the excellent Markel Bergara. Titi losing out to Jimenez. Jimenez looks up. Brilliant reaction from Jordi Alba, helping out his defensive teammate Titi, who I think put a foot wrong there for about the first time in all the game.
Yeah, almost the first time in his Barca career. He's such a sturdy and reliable centre-back. That time, though, as you say, he did just give the ball away.
Well, if you've got a corner against you and Jorge Molina is on the pitch, you've got to keep your wits about you. And that one very nearly took the defence by surprise. It will be a goal kick to Barcelona. And Mark ter Stegen won't be in any great rush to take this. There's the possession statistics, 33-67 in Barcelona's favour. I suspect, Duncan, most of that advantage has come in the second half.
Yeah, and I tell you what, not a lot of that percentage of possession is inside the final third of the Getafe pitch, because they haven't created too many goal-scoring chances, but they've certainly upped their game in this second half, and in the last few minutes they've looked very, very dangerous, Getafe. I tell you what, hats off to Ernesto Valverde. Denis Suarez comes on, scores. Paulinho comes on, scores. Two very important changes, showing that you can rotate your team without necessarily changing the starting 11 completely.
And Deulofeu came on, a forced change because of injury to Dembélé early on in the first half, but had a pretty big say in the first goal.
Absolutely.
We're in stoppage time. 30 seconds of that has gone. 3 minutes have been added, and it's a corner for Getafe. The crowd behind the goal, getting right behind the team. These are those key moments, Duncan, where, well, a point can be grabbed, defeat can be grabbed from the jaws of victory, or whichever way round. It's Fahir to take it, although Antunes is there too. They're complaining Deulofeu's a bit close. They play the short one again. It's Fahir, and it's brilliantly defended by Denis Suarez. Really, really busy performance from him.
Look at this from Football Club Barcelona. Unreal pressure. They had a corner kick just a couple of seconds ago, Getafe, and the ball suddenly all the way back with Guaita. A total waste of a corner, by the way, for Getafe in the dying seconds of this game, but brilliant pressure from Football Club Barcelona.
Here's Fahir. Yeah, you really want a corner in these kind of circumstances, to be looking to get somewhere near the head of Jorge Molina.
Without a doubt, and it was an unnecessary corner as well, because ter Stegen had it completely covered. Gerard Piqué got in front of him, put it out for a corner kick, maybe just showing some slight nerves at the back for Football Club Barcelona, but Getafe didn't make the most of it.
Just over a minute still to go. Antunes on the ball. Can Getafe find from somewhere the extra little bit of intensity, the extra little bit of desire to get back into this game? But you get the feeling, looking at some of the faces in blue shirts, that they feel it's just beyond them. Throw into Barcelona. Well, it's good pressing from the Blues. Look at that. And that will be a throw to Barca, very, very deep in their own half, just in front of the corner flag. And perhaps for Getafe an opportunity here, if they can steal it quickly. 30 seconds left on the clock. That was Bergara, quick to wait by Paulinho. An awkward one for Gené, and Luis Suarez gets away from him, and Gené sprints back to win it. It's cleared by Cala, and there is Sergio Busquets, just to add a little bit of calm to things as the final whistle is blown by referee David Fernandez Borbalán. Valverde shakes the hand of Jose Bordalas, and I'm sure congratulates him on what has been a magnificent performance from the Minnows. Final score, Getafe 1, Football Club Barcelona 2.
You've got to feel for Getafe, I think. They put in an excellent performance against Sevilla and lost 1-0 after Sevilla scored in the 83rd minute. They've done the same here. They put in a really, really good performance. They were minutes away, so close to what would have been an excellent point. At one stage they were leading, of course, against Barca, but all credit to Ernesto Valverde and Football Club Barcelona, who managed to turn it around in the second half. 2 goals from 2 substitutes, Dennis and Paulinho.
Yeah, showing the depth and quality of